Hey, I got another video for you. This is Jalen Walker. He's an Amazon driver. Parked his car at a handicap spot in the Target parking lot. Um, he was doing deliveries and he was met with confrontation when he came out of the Target. The 65-year-old white man argued with him about the parking spot. Things escalated. Jalen tried to walk away and got shot in the back by this 65-year-old white man. Take a look at the video.
Flanked by his mom, Regina, and lawyer, Jalen Walker sat up to speak with me about what happened and what happens next. I asked him if he remembered the altercation.
Yes, sir. Like I was shot for no reason.
Jalen's lawyer, Mark Cantor, would not let him speak about specific details. Police say Walker was shot by 65-year-old Larry Tomlinson. Walker, a delivery driver for Amazon, pulled into the St. Charles Target on Mexico Road, parked in a handicapped space, and walked into the store. Tomlinson took a photo of Walker's Amazon vehicle and waited for him to come out of the store. Authorities say Tomlinson argued with Walker about the space and punched him. The two wrestled, and Walker says they ended up on the ground. Walker says he saw a gun on Tomlinson and ran to his truck. Walker was shot in the back.
What's running through your mind now?
Me being able to walk again. Me being able to spend, as much time with my son.
Jalen was a basketball star at Gateway STEM, then played at Missouri Baptist, but now doctors tell him he'll never walk again. Yet almost instantly, he told his family he forgives the man who shot him.
Do you still feel that way?
Yes, sir. Because I could have died right there. I do not want that hatred on my heart. I don't want to die saying I hate anyone.
While Jalen is forgiving and dreaming of walking again, playing basketball, and running around with his son, his mom, Regina, and attorney explain the seriousness of the injury.
The bullet severed his spine. Where his spine should be, the bullet is there. So they can't remove the bullet.
We're certainly not going to forget what has occurred here and seek justice and compensation. And we intend to pursue all avenues of recovery so that he can take care of his family to the best of his ability.
Cantor has a workers' compensation suit for Walker plus a civil suit against the man who allegedly shot him. Jalen Walker has a message for people worried about him.
Live like it's your last day. I didn't know I was going to get shot yesterday. I didn't know I was going to, be almost begging for my life.
Okay, now you saw the video. They didn't show what his charges were, but I put a link in the article of his charges. He was charged with criminal action and assault one. My concern is they also mentioned that he took a civil police academy classes, something like that. Why did they need to say that? They also said he was cooperating with the police. Are they trying to say that he's like this guy who loves the police and he's a good guy? I'm not understanding, but it appears that this guy felt like he was acting as a police officer and taking charge of getting justice for this guy illegally parking in a handicapped spot. The fact that he sat there and waited for the guy to come out is just he's looking for someone to get a confrontation with, and he has a gun. So it's one of those things where, if the guy walks away, why did you shoot him in the back? That's what I don't understand. Why is he shot in the back? Obviously, he's leaving, but I'm not understanding why his charges are so low, because that really is attempted murder. You shot someone in the back. You can't say you're in fear of your life because you shot him in the back. It lets you know how the justice system works. I mean, for people to say that there's no such thing as white privilege, like, if you have the complexion, you have the protection, because anyone else who was non-white would be getting a 20-year attempted murder charge and aggravated assault on top. Like, they'll just be trumping those charges on there. And if the charges, fit for anyone, I mean, no matter what color they are, if that's the charge, then that's the charge. But for you to give such a little charge for a man who's going to be paralyzed, and even if he wasn't paralyzed, he was shot in the back. Like, anytime you use a gun, anytime you shoot someone with a gun, and it's definitely, if it's not a flesh wound, but when you, if it's not self-defense, if you shoot someone, that's automatically attempted murder. It's automatically attempted murder. If it's not self-defense, it's attempted murder. No matter how you put it, even if it did end up being a flesh wound, it's attempted murder, because when you point a gun at someone, you attempt to, you know that the gun is a deadly weapon, which means you run the risk of them getting shot. You run the risk of them dying, either there immediately or thereafter. You run that risk, and that story is very similar to the Stand Your Ground. I think this was in St. Charles, Missouri, but this is similar to the Stand Your Ground case in St. Petersburg, where the guy shot someone over a handicap spot.
An argument over a parking spot turns deadly and is leading to a storm of controversy.
The incident is sparking strong feelings on both sides.
The drama began as this white car pulled into a handicapped parking spot at a convenience store in Clearwater, Florida. 28-year-old Marquise McLaughlin and his 5-year-old son can be seen entering the store to buy snacks. Then this SUV pulls up. Cops say the driver, identified as Michael Draka, became upset when he saw that the white car was in a handicapped spot without a permit. Words were exchanged with the woman behind the wheel. Then McLaughlin emerged from the store. When he realized what was happening, he shoved Draka to the ground.
All my man was trying to do is protect his girl like anybody else would.
What happens next is shocking. Watch as Draka reaches into his pocket, pulls out a pistol, and fires a single shot. McLaughlin staggers back to the store, clutching his chest. He collapsed and died of his injuries.
I need justice. This is not right at all.
Police say the shooter will not be charged because he's protected by Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law, which says someone can use deadly force if they fear imminent death or great bodily harm. It's the same argument that made headlines when George Zimmerman stood trial for shooting teenager Trayvon Martin in 2012.
We, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty.
Cops say the shooter in the Clearwater case owned the gun legally and had a concealed carry permit.
He had to shoot to defend himself. And those are the facts, and that's the law.
And you guessed it, it is an old white guy shooting a black person.